with people that's not even in the same country as you. So we'll talk more in depth in that throughout the season. And then, of course, virtual collaboration. Social media is popular. Everyone utilizes social media. There has been people that have built really great relationships with people just simply using social media. So using social media, using different type of tools such as Skype, using um, chat platforms such as Slack, Asana. So those are just a couple of tools, but also social media is a really big impact. There's people that have some of the best relationships co-working together, and they've never met each other in person, but utilizing the necessary tools and maintenance to be able to keep that virtual collaboration together is so incredible. There's some people that have had does it way better than I do. And I love learning from these people because sometimes when you're virtual, obviously you're in two different locations, you're doing different things. And so virtual collaboration, there's a way to make sure that even though you're doing this via virtually, there's still a way to make sure that that's a strong relationship. And so we're going to get more intact and more in depth into those type of conversations later on in the season. So different steps for collaboration. Again, I'm utilizing some of the information here from Mind Tools. I read this article all the time, and I'm always looking at leadership and looking at different ways to define building performance and success. And so this article here has just been successful at showing the basics that you need to start those steps of collaboration. And so we're going to go into those steps as well. So that way you have an understanding. Again, so have your pen and paper out. Make sure that you guys have that in handy, because if you're someone that's starting a business or you're even working on a project and you're trying to figure out, well, how do I start collaborating with people? How do I get in contact with people? This episode is going to give you those basic structures for that as well. So, number one, in making sure that you have collaboration excellence is, of course, defining your purpose. Anytime that you're ready to work on a project, there's a goal that you have, there are certain initiatives that you're trying to get out there. It's very important to have a clear and defined purpose of what you're trying to do. Because if you're looking to reach out to people, whether that's internally with your team, also if that's externally with other people that you want to get involved, maybe other business owners. If you don't have a clear, defined purpose of what you're trying to target and what your ultimate goal is, you're already going to immediately confuse people and you're going to turn them off. So take a time and take a moment before you start actually executing, getting other people involved. Define your purpose. Define exactly what the target goal of your project, of what your strategy is. Make sure that you have that down. That could be also in the form of a proposal, which is typically what a lot of people do, is they share and they create and construct a proposal to show people and identify what exactly they're looking to do, what their target goal is, and ultimately what the purpose of this project is. So before getting people involved, you want to just identify, you want to make sure that it's clear when you're having these conversations, when you're sharing this content with people, that you have a clear defined purpose of what you're doing. So that's number one, is making sure that you have it defined, that it's straight across the board. It's clear for you to understand, probably even getting some of your team. If you have a business where you do have like internal teams, that's definitely a great way to get some of that feedback as well from people, so they can let you know, well, this main portion may not be clear, or if there's things that you need to adjust before getting the big players involved in this project. So that's definitely number one. Number two on this article is obviously choosing based off of what you're looking to complete and what your goal is. You want to choose open or closed collaboration. So obviously, if this is a project that you're dealing with, let's just say, for example, you're a business, you're looking to do community outreach. Obviously, close collaboration is great in the aspect of getting your team together, the people that work within your organization, to understand the common goal. They're definitely aligned, but it's going to take way more than just your team, internal team, to get others involved in a community outreach project. So obviously you want to reach out, depending on your target audience, you want to reach out to your target audience. You may want to reach out to other businesses within that community. You may want to reach out to even the aldermen in some cases. So you want to define, once you define what your project is and what your goal is, clearly your next step is to define whether it's needed for open collaboration. Depending on how big it is, do you need more outside parties involved to complete this task? Or if it's going to be close collaboration, where you actually just need a certain few people more within your internal organization. And so that, of course, just comes with, again, being able to identify your purpose, knowing what you're trying to reach and what goals you're trying to accomplish out of this project or task to help you build and enhance your brand. Number three, this is the most crucial, because honestly, what I've seen just in my career and what I've seen not only just in corporate America, but what I've seen in entrepreneurial projects as well, in my entrepreneurial journey, number three is definitely something that can make or break whatever you're trying to do. Number three on this article talks about involving the right people. I cannot stress enough how many times I have seen projects, okay? I cannot stress enough how many times I've seen projects where the wrong people are involved, the wrong people end up getting into maybe a disagreement, or they shouldn't have been involved in the project in the first place. Sometimes people want to get their friends, people that they're close to, and they think, oh, well, we have a great relationship. We may have worked on something small before, or we think alike. I think they'll be great for this project. Involving the right people can make or break the project that you're working on and can make or break that collaboration. Once you've completed that, you've identified your goals, once you've had the defined purpose together, you understand what tools and resources you need, the next step is involving the right people. And when you're getting the right people involved, it's very crucial because, again, these are people that you want to make sure is all aligned on the same purpose. Sometimes people get involved and you think, oh, they're great for the project because of maybe past things that you've done, not realizing that this person may not be on the same purpose as you. It's very frustrating, and it can become a very negative situation if you're in a collaboration, more specifically with close collaboration, when you're dealing with someone or people who are not on the same page as you. You're thinking like, hey, I've initiated, I've identified, I know what my clear purpose is on this project, but having people that are not on the same page, it's just a lot of room for frustration. So some things that you can do to make sure that you're involving the right people is just understanding from every different angle of the actual project or the goal that you're trying to reach. Is this person going to be purposeful? Is this person an expert in what you're looking for? Does this person, so when we talk about a person being an expert, are they knowledgeable about the goal that you're looking to accomplish? Do they understand what it takes? What does their experience look like? Also, take an opportunity for people that you're choosing, look at some of their prior work and not just look at it from a perspective of, oh, I work with this person on this project, but on a previous project, but what you're trying to define now and the goals that you're trying to set for a particular collaborative project. Make sure that you identify that they've done this type of work before, or they've been involved in this kind of work before. They can have a whole different perspective that could take this collaboration piece that you're working on to a whole nother level. And so in anything that you do with collaborating, having the right people involved, having the right people aligned, having the right people with the same mindset and that wants to work with you to accomplish the same goal is I can't even it's so much I can't even describe just some of the experiences that I've had. It is so crucial because if everybody's in four different places, you're not going to get anything done. And then by the time you look up, either you're overdue for accomplishing that goal, you didn't hit the task, and you didn't complete a lot of the things that you wanted to complete. And so I definitely want people to understand. I want you guys to know, if you're listening, making sure that you have the right people involved. This is a step that you really want to take time to think about. Think about the person, think about their past experience, think about their skills, think about their expertise, whether it's open collaboration, you're bringing somebody from a third party outside, or it's internally and there's people that you need to work with. Make sure you understand what their capabilities are before adding them on that project, because it can definitely make or it can break what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. Number four is obviously, of course, achieving buy-in. And so I think that's also important when you're getting the right people. So involving the right people and getting the buy-in pretty much is hand in hand, in my opinion. So what you have is your proposal. What you have is a defined idea, your target goals, what you're looking to do with whatever, it is that you're looking to accomplish. Making sure that all of that is defined at the beginning is going to necessarily, and with the right people that you're looking to maybe pitch to or get involved, will definitely help you and give you more of a leeway to be able to get them to understand the bigger picture, to get that buy-in. And so it's not just getting people to have that buy-in on your end. That's number one and most important. You want to get that buy-in from people when you're pitching out that idea or pitching out whatever plans that you're pitching out. But you also want to get not only their buy-in, but also their commitment to understand where your mind state is. Because easily, and that comes through communication, things can get easily miscommunicated if it's not clear and if it's not defined. And making sure that you're communicating what you're seeking out of the partnership, what you're seeking out of their investment within this is definitely crucial and totally important to making sure that you guys are on the same page. As long as when you're collaborating with someone and you're on the same page, it definitely just builds that momentum that's needed, and it makes it so much more successful in the end. Because a lot of the times you get people, you're involving people, and people are excited to join, and they may not even know what they're really joining. They just want to turn around and, oh, I just want to be a part of something. But that's where you have to scout out if this is necessary. Not only getting their buy-in, but asking questions, getting clarity to make sure that they understand what they're buying into as well. Because like I said, people sometimes just want to just be a part of something, just to say, oh, I'm a part of something, and not realizing that you may have given all the information and they're agreeing to it, but then when it comes down to actually getting started and working on the project and what they're responsible for, they have no clue, or they're still not really, they didn't even really pay attention to what you were putting out there as well. So achieving buy-in is very important for you to make sure that your people understand whoever you're getting to be a part of that collaboration. But it's also important to make sure that you're doing clarifying questions and that you're giving them clarity and understanding, and asking them questions as well, and seeing how they sync with you, how they ask questions about the project, so that way it's a good collaboration piece. And then number 5, which is on here as well, which I think is incredible, and it's of course something that you want to do and complete throughout the process of the collaboration, is encouraging collaborative behavior. That is so important. Leading by example, making sure that you're building trust. Number 1, I would actually say they had leading by example, which is number 1. But I think personally, just with my experience, leading by example and building trust are kind of hand in hand. So obviously you want to lead by example. Don't just get people involved in the project and then you just kind of put yourself out and you tell people. And I've seen this before in my career where people will turn around, they'll get a project together, they kind of step away. They put their information, or they put everything defined, and then they kind of step away. And so their whole mindset is, oh, well, I asked for you, I got you guys, I recruited you guys to come in and do this role and to work on this project. So you guys know what you need to do. I'm going to step back and just do the back end stuff. Now, leading by example is definitely not that. That is the quickest way to get people to say, I don't want to be a part of this piece, and walk away. And then now you haven't accomplished your goal. So make sure that you're setting up meetings. If you're going to lead by example, you're in every meeting, you're asking people how they're doing, you're following up, which is a very important key component. Make sure that you write that down. You're following up, because a lot of the times people don't follow up, or they follow up too late. So you're following up and you're making sure that you're addressing the matter head on, and that you're taking care of the matters and making sure that each and every piece of the collaborative piece is being completed and executed appropriately. And if there are lingering issues or lingering questions, you're making sure to execute a resolution immediately to make sure that the progress of the project continues to go on successfully. So that's super important. Leading by example, building trust, different spaces. So obviously, if you're working with open collaboration, you may be working with people that are remote. So it's very important that you are communicating with them online on a regular basis, or however, whatever tools that you're using, but making sure that you understand whether it's open communication, open collaboration. If you're working with people that are remote, there may be different ways that you can work to make sure, by using certain tools, that things are getting done, probably getting on a conference call, considering people that you may see in the office on a regular basis versus people that you're remote. you definitely want to take more time. For people that are specifically remote, you want to take more time to go ahead and make sure